Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a really fun video for us to shoot. It's about remediation costs and time, and what that time costs you in damages to your rental property. So here's a look at the problem-solving process. Number one, partner with an expert vendor. If you find somebody that's the guy down the street, I can promise you it's not only going to take longer, but he's not going to find the source of the problem on the first try. Number two, assess the damage. Make sure that you thoroughly dig in and figure out what the source of the problem is instead of assuming it's coming from somewhere to find out later that you fixed something that wasn't broken. Number three, strategize on a course of action. Talk to your vendors, think through things, and see what the best possible course of action could be. Your insurance may or may not be involved, and so you're going to want to make sure that you discuss it with all parties, including your residents if that house is occupied. Number four, get estimates, approve bids, provide funds. These vendors aren't going to work without something on hand to make sure that you make final payment. We don't recommend getting second estimates, but I'll explain here why in just a moment. Get new bids if necessary, but really, again, your first bid, just like your first offer in real estate, is typically your best. Get the work completed. The timeline is variable, but now you need to get started and get started quick. Don't delay. So let's talk about a little story to bring all this together. This is at one of our rental properties. The tenant moved out. There was extensive damage. It was cat urine smell as well as a lot of honest damage that was malicious to the property. It was during COVID, so we weren't able to see the property because of federal restrictions in place. But once the tenant moved out, we got in there and found all this as a mess. It was estimated on the first estimate about $18,000. Of course, the owner wasn't happy. Who wants to pay $18,000? They didn't have the funds, and so when you don't have the money, what's the first thing you do? Oh, let's get a second bid because it'll be cheaper. Well, time goes by. You're paying mortgage, taxes, you're not collecting rent. So the owner got a second bid. It was for $8,000. Man, what a win, right? You saved $10,000, but you also went from 18 to 8. Something's fishy here, but hey, the owner was happy, they approved the work. There was no warranty, no guarantee on the work, but this guy was gonna take care of it, so it'll be fine, don't worry. You saved 10 grand. What was the outcome? The owner paid the $8,000, the cat pee smell still present in the property. The vendor had to return 3 to 4 more times, which means a week each time, costing the owner more money, more lost rent. Next, because that person never fixed it, they had to go back and hire a remediation specialist to go back to the property. Much more money. So what was the result of this? Over 15 grand spent in repairs, 3 months of vacancy, totaling about $5,000. The total spend, 17.4. Believe it or not, the problem is still not solved at the time we film this. It's ongoing. So, you're never gonna feel great about an $18,000 bid. But ladies and gentlemen, we send you our best vendors. We review those estimates before we send them to you, and time is of the essence because sitting there costs you money, and reliable vendors cost you much less than unreliable vendors. Waiting to get a cheaper bid, as we already said, costs much more than simply getting it done right and moving forward. Often in business, the first reasonable offer is the best one, and that's the one we want you to focus on so that we can get you guys back to a state where you're bringing in income and happy tenants in place and sleeping well at night instead of struggling over those bids and how you're going to pay for them. As always, reach out to us online if we can be of any assistance to you, 1836propertymanagement.com, or give us a call, 512-994-4323. Thanks for your time.